Prime Minister Modi announced the adoption of G20 New Delhi Leaders' Declaration, a significant victory for India's presidency of the bloc that came amid increasing tensions and divergent views over the Ukraine conflict.
हमारी टीम्स के हार्डवर्क से G20 लीडर्स समिट डिक्लेरेशन पर सहमति बनी है। मेरा प्रस्ताव है कि इस लीडर्स डिक्लेरेशन को भी एडॉप्ट किया जाए। मैं इस डिक्लेरेशन को एडॉप्ट करने की घोषणा करता हूं।
Prime Minister Modi announced the launch of the India, Middle East, Europe Mega Economic Corridor. The project includes India, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, the European Union, France, Italy, Germany, and the US.
India's successful G20 presidency. Bharat emerges as Vishwaguru this G20. G20 impact on Modi's 2024 image. Arnab debates at 9 p.m.
Nobody can ever trouble an honest journalist. Nobody can ever trouble an honest media house. We are destined for success. Every moment from now on, I want everyone in the Digvijay newsroom to always remember that you must be wedded to the cause of news. Thank you very much, Anand, for having us here and for letting us take the journey forward.
241 crore rupees scam charge on Chandra Babu Naidu. Massive showdown in Andhra Pradesh over Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. Naidu jailed for alleged corruption. Arnab debates at 10 p.m.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. The new Kia Seltos. Century Ply. Club Prime. PolicyBazaar.com. And JK Tire.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What a watershed weekend it has been for India, hasn't it? Under Prime Minister Modi, who has been lauded across the world for his global leadership, the Delhi Declaration has been adopted by the G20 nations. Now, not only have we steered the permanent membership of the African Union into the G20, which is historic in terms of adding muscle to the global south, we have built consensus where there was none. We have broken away from the days of following agendas to leading it. Ladies and gentlemen, the adoption of the Delhi Declaration is no small feat. To have got the Americas and the Chinese to agree to the Russians was such a mammoth feat, and only Modi could have done it. Over a 37-page Delhi Declaration under India's great presidency of the G20, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India's acceptance as a world leader and Prime Minister Modi as the leading global statesman has been fully established. Make no mistake, PM Modi's acceptance as a world leader, as a global unifier between nations has been declared. Ladies and gentlemen, as Indians, we are proud because we are setting the global agenda on the global stage. Not only by our acts as a great nation, not just by the fact that the Nifty today gained for the 7th day straight and soared above the 20,000 mark. Not because our economy is doing so well, not because the IMF is hailing India for its global leadership, but tonight it is equally about whether this success of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's diplomacy and establishment as a global leader will directly positively impact even further his image in the run-up to 2024. Viewers, as a nation, we are leading the world. How can we have a group of people who say this country does not deserve a leader? We are being told the issue of leadership is not important. We are told we have 15 prime ministerial candidates among us by one I.N.D.I.A. ... alliance. And on the other side, you have the leadership, the respect, the stature of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Fundamental question, won't Prime Minister Narendra Modi being projected as unifier on the global stage dent even further the divisive image the opposition is trying to fearmonger about? Won't Prime Minister Narendra Modi being accepted as the global leader in pioneering financial inclusion benefit the BJP and him politically at home? Won't Prime Minister Narendra Modi's ability to be the voice of the global south and the marginalized quarters of the entire world and the negotiator to set terms for the West become his biggest arsenal in the run-up to 2024? Because we need a leader. We need a leader, ladies and gentlemen. Gone are the days when a group of people telling us they will take India back to the khichdi sarkars of the 1990s tell the youth of this country, you don't need a leader. We can have 20 leaders among us. No, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want that. The impact of the G20 on 2024 is debate number 1 tonight, viewers. And, ladies and gentlemen, the other big story this evening. The other big story this evening is the shocking arrest of Chandra Babu Naidu and the levels of political vendetta that are going on at the state government levels. Needs to be spoken about. Ladies and gentlemen, that's debate number 2, and here are the headlines this Monday evening on the debate tonight. With an ambitious, super successful and action-oriented G20 presidency, India ensures a successful global summit. Narendra Modi is the world's talking point. Global leaders take note of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's stellar leadership in steering the narrative in a polarized world and making all the difference.
भारत के लिए सऊदी अरब हमारे सबसे महत्वपूर्ण स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर में से एक। आज की हमारी बैठक से हमारे संबंधों को एक नई ऊर्जा, एक नई दिशा मिलेगी।
2 days after the economic corridor announcement, India signs the highly anticipated energy cooperation deal with Saudi Arabia. Spurred by India's G20 success and the growing economy, Nifty crosses 20,000 mark for the first time. Former Andhra Chief Minister Chandra Babu Naidu continues to be in jail for alleged corruption case. The Jagan government opens another investigation against him. And TDP cadre on the streets for the third day, statewide protests over the arrest of Chandra Babu Naidu in an election year. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend we saw Bharat charting a new global course with a successful, super successful G20 presidency. India managed to get 100% consensus on the Delhi Declaration. We launched an economic corridor to challenge China. We ensured the African Union is included in the G20, thus emerging as the voice of the global South. Ahead of 2024, Prime Minister Modi is now seen, accepted, acknowledged, respected as the most prominent global leader. People to whom the entire world looks for counsel, advice and leadership. Here is how Narendra Modi has elevated Bharat's position through the G20, and then we debate.
A successful G20 summit with a Delhi declaration that had 100% consensus.
हमारी टीम्स के हार्डवर्क से और आप सभी के सहयोग से नई दिल्ली G20 लीडर समिट डिक्लेरेशन पर सहमति बनी है। मेरा प्रस्ताव है कि इस लीडर्स डिक्लेरेशन को भी एडप्ट किया जाए। मैं इस डिक्लेरेशन को एडप्ट करने की घोषणा करता हूं।
In a highly polarized world, India managed to bring nations on the same page with its statement on war.
All countries have unanimously supported the New Delhi Leaders' Declaration. This demonstrates both the Prime Minister's and India's great ability to bring all developing countries, all emerging markets, all developed countries, China, Russia, everybody together on the same table and bring consensus.
Followed by an economic corridor, a project that has been a vision of the Prime Minister and a fitting counter to China's Belt and Road Initiative.
भारत कनेक्टिविटी को क्षेत्रीय सीमाओं में नहीं मापता। सभी क्षेत्रों के साथ कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाना भारत की मुख्य प्राथमिकता है। हमारा मानना है कि कनेक्टिविटी विभिन्न देशों के बीच आपसी व्यापार ही नहीं, आपसी विश्वास भी बढ़ाने का स्रोत है।
This is a big deal. This is a real big deal. And I want to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. One Earth, one family, one future. That's the focus of this G20 summit.
Inclusion of African Union was another milestone.
Donc, pour compléter à votre question, effectivement, le G20, c'est quand même une puissance composée de pays très puissants. Vous en avez cité certains-uns, mais les autres, comme l'Inde, comme le Brésil, tous ceux qui veulent venir en Afrique, je vous dis qu'il y a de la place.
Whether it is Russia that shares hostilities with the West or the Western allies, they all agree on one thing. That is Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
I would like to mention in particular is the active role of the Indian presidency that has genuinely consolidated the G20 members, probably for the first time in its history.
Remercier le Premier ministre Narendra Modi. L'Inde, fidèle à ses principes, a tout mis en œuvre pour cette présidence du G20 et pour qu'elle serve d'unité qu'elle envoie un message justement de stabilité alors que la Russie continue de mener sa guerre d'agression en Ukraine. Et donc je remercie et félicite le Premier ministre Modi et
The G20 summit in India has truly elevated Prime Minister Modi as a global leader. Let's debate.
I just want to make clear what my position is on this, and I feel that after the G20 summit and then 15 top-notch bilaterals, there's always a gap between Prime Minister Modi and anyone else. In fact, now there is, I would just say, I want to begin with Ambassador Vora. I welcome Nalin Kohli, Aarti Tikku Singh, Subrashta, Romesh Sabarwal, Pankaj Sharma, Shubh Malhotra of the AAP, Reval Sridhar Reddy of the BRS, and Faizan Kidwai of the Samajwadi Party. I want to just begin with your take on this. I feel that the gap is incredible. But first we must begin by recognizing that what has appeared to be so effortless is actually quite incredible, isn't it? Ambassador Vora, the Delhi Declaration, the way the Prime Minister carried India through it, and its impact on India's stature overall.
Always a pleasure, always a privilege to learn from you and from the other people. I'm in New York at the moment. It's 11:46 in the moment. The temperature outside is 22 degrees and autumn is upon us. Fall, as they say. You can see the magnificent color of the leaves behind me. Sir, today is 9/11. I don't need to tell you what happened, and New York still bears the scars. But then came 9 and 10 September, when the world saw what hope and positive energy can achieve. I believe the cobwebs of the past have been swept away. Proves one thing that I have learned in diplomacy. You cannot challenge today's problems with the mindset that created them yesterday in the first place. So we have hope, we have optimism. It's Narendra Modi's birthday in a few days. He has given to the world a new path, a path that was forged in Delhi. New Delhi was the global capital, will continue to be. And the world has given him a gift of trust and positive thought. Sir, you've talked about that economic corridor which will link the Sanatani civilization of India with the Islamic civilization of the Middle East and the Christian civilization of Europe. This is very, very significant. Whether some country likes it or not, it doesn't matter. The world is coming together today as never before. Why? Because, sir, I owe it to myself to build for myself and my family a better world to live in and to bequeath to my children a better world to inherit. Narendra Modi is Vishwaneta. India is Vishwaguru and Vishwamitra, sir.
So, thank you so much. It's so wonderful what you've just said. In this air of positivity, I believe it has become important, Shubh and Mr. Sabarwal, for the opposition to change its approach. Either you would agree with me now, or maybe you will agree with me on the 20th of May 2024 where the results will come out. The country is positive. We are doing fantastically well. If you enter with a negative campaign, you might end up losing even further from where you were in 2019. I don't think it's a risk worth taking, because Narendra Modi, after the Delhi Declaration, has got the whole world together, and the entire country is proud. I've been talking to a lot of people, Shubh, they're so happy. Youngsters, they don't even relate to what you guys are saying about the fact that you have a Khichdi Sarkar and you have 15 leaders. It's like sounds so medieval in its thinking. You got to be modern. Move ahead with the times, Shubh.
Yeah, but moving ahead with the times does not actually mean that we turn our faces away from reality. Over around more than 4,100 crores were spent in Delhi for G20. But it is also true that it also brought to light the gaping poverty that is there in India. A majority of this 4,100 crores were spent on boardings that were used to cover the poor areas of Delhi. And it was quite apparent that what is the real state of India. And this was widespread coverage by different news channels. So, G20 in a way, yes.
What is the real state of India according to you? According to you, I just want to understand, because I feel so surprised, Shubh, when people say the real state of India? Well, I live in a country, I don't know whether you live in the same country as I do, but I live in a country which is now called the 5th superpower in the world by the African Union. I live in a country that has touched 8% growth. I live in a country where the defense exports have gone up 23 times. I live in a country which the whole world acknowledges has outstripped China. I live in a country which has become the manufacturing base, which is the next manufacturing base for the world. Right? I live in a country that leads through the digital economy, through the UPI, a scheme which every American politician now talks about in their own election speeches. Right? I live in a country that is civilizationally very, very aware of itself, respected around the world and negotiating hard with the British for an FTA that they are requesting so hard. I'm happy I live in a country that can successfully snub Trudeau when he encourages Khalistanis. I'm so glad Modi didn't give him any time.
We live in a country.
I don't know. Do you live in the same country as I do, Mr. Sabharwal?
Shameful.
Do you live in the same country as I do, Mr. Sabharwal? Do you?
No. You are speaking all lies, you know. Listen me first. We congratulate the Modi government of G20 for India. Have you observed one thing? Where they all went? To Rajghat, to Mahatma Gandhi, to father of the nation, to former Congress president. Have you forgotten the time of Nehruji? Have you forgotten the time of Indiraji? Have you forgotten the time of Rajiv Gandhi? This is a life journey. Whosoever will be the Prime Minister tomorrow, you can become the Prime Minister of India. So nobody can, it's a journey of a life. If Modi is the Prime Minister of India, he has conducted the event for the sake of India, for the sake of our country.
Undermine it, undermine it, Mr. Sabharwal. Undermine everything.
By Biden.
Undermine everything.
By Biden.
Undermine everything that has been achieved. Undermine it, play it down, undermine it.
Manipur.
Undermine it at your own risk because the country won't.
Unemployment. Don't deviate. Indiraji did NAM. Rajiv ji
Mr. Nalin Kohli, you're hearing this. I think
I formed in 1999. No, don't politicalize it. G20.
You guys are so jealous.
Is a national.
You guys are so jealous.
Event, you know, for the sake of. Now we are not jealous. We are not jealous. They went to Mahatma Gandhi.
You're burning with jealousy. It's your burn all moment.
It has proved that. But it's Congress. You people cannot finish Congress. We know religion, caste, you people involved that in the politics. The world doesn't know, but the world knows. World knows that the Modi government only involves religion, caste, Manipur incident, shameful act.
So be happy. Be happy.
Don't
be exultant. Be exultant.
Be happy.
We are
happy.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine as open to Nalin Kohli now? Sir, no, you're not happy. You don't look happy. You don't speak happy. You don't talk happy. You don't sound happy. You're not happy. You're not happy.
We are happy.
You're not happy at all. Just look at you.
We are
happy. Just saying.
Too much happy.
I'm just saying, Nalin.
We are proud of India.
Is he looking happy, Nalin? Is that how you look when you're happy? Is that how you sound when you're happy?
Mr. Goswami.
Are you proud of India's leader?
Modi is the Prime Minister of India.
Are you proud of India's leader, Narendra Modi? Are you proud of India's leader, Narendra Modi?
He did something good for. अरे भाई प्राउड नहीं है, हमें प्राउड है जो उन्होंने इवेंट किया. हम क्रिटिसाइज नहीं कर रहे उनको, पर माय इशू इज दैट डोंट कंपेयर दिस इवेंट विद 2024 इलेक्शन एंड ऑल दैट. प्लीज, these are national issues. The president of
India,
I'm
not comparing, I'm saying it's going to have an impact. You realize?
He lost the election. No, it cannot. No impact. Why we should be afraid? 1-to-1 fight.
It will have negative impact.
India will remain alive. We will move forward.
Mr. Goswami, can I say something?
भारत की जनता हमारे साथ है.
Mr. Goswami.
वो तो पता चलेगा. नलिन कोहली.
Mr. Goswami, sometimes political frustration brings out incoherent arguments. I was listening with amazement that someone on national television can reduce the stature of Mahatma Gandhi ji to a product that is owned by the Congress party. Let's first be clear. The Indian National
Why not?
Congress was
He was a Congress
India's
president.
Congress.
It is universal truth.
With everyone who wanted independence working with it. It wasn't belonging to a certain family, which is what the Congress party, which is now the Nehru-Gandhi family-led Congress party, is
Family
about.
कहाँ पर आ गई?
Obviously, people go
Gandhi
to
family
Mahatma
कहाँ से आ गई इसके
Gandhi's.
अंदर?
In fact, this
Congress
was
is
what
Kharge is the
Narendra
Congress
Modi ji
president.
proposed and
Kejriwal
took
was
the
Congress
leaders there.
president. Narasimha Rao
So
was the
somebody,
Congress
may I not be interrupted? Can I have the decency of at least
Yeah,
making
he
my
proposed.
argument?
He proposed.
I mean, I didn't
He
interrupt.
proposed.
I didn't agree with
No,
any word that Sabarwal ji said. But
Don't-
let me finish
don't
my
speak lie,
point.
na?
Mr. Goswami, let me finish my point. This doesn't take us anywhere. This only confirms that there must be merit in what I'm arguing because of the disruption that I'm facing. So let's go back to this. Narendra Modi ji and the government proposed this program. Is somebody hiding or trying to prevent people to go to Mahatma Gandhi ji? What kind of argument is this? I mean, this can only come from a party that looks at everything that is purchasable in a shop. Pyar ki dukaan, nafarat ki dukaan, everything is a purchasable commodity in a shop. You can't reduce India's stature and its leadership to that level. That you will just simply say that Mahatma Gandhi belongs to us, it doesn't belong to somebody else. Who are you to say that Mahatma Gandhi ji belongs only to the Congress? And how dare you say that? He belongs to India, to Bharat, to everyone here. And each one of us understands his stature. That's point number one. Point number two, no one prevented ever, whether it was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, whether it was Indira Gandhi ji, Rajiv ji, or any other Dr. Manmohan Singh, anyone, to take India to this level and do something as important as we saw in Delhi. Who stopped it? Nobody did. Governance is about you. You get an opportunity to serve the people. People elect you. Modi ji got that opportunity, and Modi ji is, as the leader of India, who's in office today, doing his best day and night to take India to the next level. And how can that be a cause of frustration or anger? I mean, do we not want our nation to be up there on the high table?
No anger.
Do we not feel proud when other global leaders
Oliver.
and countries acknowledge our role and appreciate the points we are bringing onto the table? Is that not pride for each one of us? Can it be divided into something as narrow as I am from the Congress, you are from the BJP, this person's from X or Y? You can't do that to India and India's stature. So let us celebrate what is good. We can do our politics separately. You can criticize the BJP for 20 things, which in any case you are entitled to in a democracy. We will answer that back also in 20 ways, which we are equally entitled to do so in the same democracy.
No, but if I just were to add one point to this, and Faizan, I completely understand today, Aarti and Subrashta, that the opposition is in a quandary. They don't know what to do. I understand it. I appreciate it. Because they really don't know what to do now. They don't know how to handle Modi. But you must understand, Faizan, whatever Prime Minister Modi is achieving today is not just by hosting the G20. It is by his deft handling of the economy, of crises like COVID, his handling of defense, the equation with China, his investment in infrastructure, the build-up of global trade, the size of the economy, all of these things have led to a situation where today everyone from the Saudis to the Americans to the British are dying to do more business with us. And accept it, Faizan, India was not a global leader under previous dispensations. We were not a leader like we were today. I can't be politically correct about it, Subrashta, and say, no, we were leaders then, we were leaders now, we'll be leaders in the future. No, it's not like that. But it's not like that. Don't equate it. We were not leaders like we are today.
Good today also because that's in the basic structure of India.
No, we were not doing this good. No, we were not doing this good. Then also, that also, no, we weren't.
Narendra Modi, what's your obsession with Mr. Modi? Mr. Goswami, why?
I'm not obsessed. I'm saying we were not doing that well.
We share your obsession with me.
We were not doing well earlier like this.
Mr. Goswami, you come across as somebody who's damn obsessed with Narendra Modi and his policies. I don't know why you...
No, I'm saying that I'm really happy for my country right now for the way we are doing now. We were not doing this well earlier.
Or otherwise,
but we were not doing this well earlier, Faizan.
That's your personal choice, sir. You
can talk about me. I'm saying we were not doing this well earlier. We are doing well now.
For such a long time. Grant me this courtesy, sir. Mr. Goswami, you
Good
talk
to have you.
everything you want to say about the opposition party. You speak on our behalf. So at least let me say what I have to say on behalf of the opposition party or as an individual, whatever. So, Mr. Arnab Goswami, you sometime back you mentioned that you don't see anything wrong happening in India. Everything is hunky-dory according to you. Because Mr. Goswami, you come from an affluent background. You have you lead a luxurious life, and that's perfectly all right. But sir, you should understand that 50% of Indians who in the lower strata, they have
No, 1 minute. I'll explain one thing. 1 minute.
So,
1 minute.
Mr.
No, 1
Goswami,
minute. No,
Mr.
only
Goswami,
because
sir,
the
please.
point of order, Faizan,
Mr.
because you
Goswami.
made a point about me personally. No. Because you made a personal point, I'll have to respond. I can't let that go unrebutted. No, I'll tell you a couple of things. No, I will tell you a couple. No, Faizan. Faizan, 1 minute. No, you listen to me now. No, you made a personal comment. You made a personal comment. I'll only respond to that and let you continue. I'll take a 10 seconds to clarify what you said. To correct what you said, 10 seconds and then you can continue. I can't allow a personal comment you made on me to go unrebutted. Sir, please correct yourself properly. I come from a very middle class background. My father was in the Indian Army. No, 1 minute. My father is an Indian Army officer. My mother is a school teacher. My mother has taught in various schools, including Kendriya Vidyalaya, where I have also studied. Furthermore, after that, sir, I have been in Hindu college, right? You can check out where I stayed, Bhai Parmanand Colony in Mukherjee Nagar.
So I know.
I have got scholarships to go to Oxford and scholarships to go to Cambridge. You cannot put me in a quote-unquote affluent camp. You cannot put me in an affluent camp. I am the opposite. I am the opposite. I am the opposite of the dynasty. I am the opposite of the dynasty, sir. So don't make a personal comment. Go back to the debate. Don't make a personal comment. You can go back to the debate.
You are the opposite of Dynas. That means you share nothing with Jai Shah.
Thank you for acknowledging
That's what
it.
you want to say, right? That you and Jai Shah have nothing in common, right? This is what you have to say. That you and Jai Shah have nothing in common.
Talk about G20. Why are you burning about G20? Come on to G20, Faizan.
Now, may I continue,
come back to G20, Faizan.
No, sir. I am not burning over G20, sir. You were very concerned. Sir, you were very concerned what is going wrong in your country. Please give me some time. I'll tell you, sir. You should understand, sir, 57% of our Indian women suffer from anemia. There's 36% child stunting cases, 19% child wasting cases, sir. And this is because they don't get proper nourishment, they don't get proper food. And this BJP government, it has reduced the budget of Poshan, which was a midday scheme, by 12,000 crores. It has reduced food subsidy by 80,000 crores. It has reduced the fertilizer subsidies. What will happen? It will further increase the food prices, sir. Further increase the food prices. The life of a common man, forget about poor. Even a common man's life will suffer. What will happen of India, sir?
Where is this manufacture of figures coming from?
Acha, so now you won't believe in the figures. I'll give you a CMI report, sir. 7.5% unemployment in India.
I heard you.
Unemployment, sir.
I heard you.
Total labor force is around 47 crores. Why is 24 crores without job? Why is 25 crore labor force without job?
This is not how a debate takes place.
Please explain, Mr. Nalin Kohli.
Mr. Faizan, don't try to do this thing with me.
It's my time. I have
Mr.
to speak.
Faizan, let me answer this. I've heard you and don't you try to
Mr. Goswami has
outshout me.
praised Narendra Modi enough.
How I do a debate,
now at least give me some time.
Sorry, don't. If you have nothing to do except
I also don't do a debate like this, sir.
Please
just give me some time.
It's a request, this is the only standard that you know.
Sir.
Yes, then absolutely. You are showing the standard from which you have come.
No, sir. It's not the only standard, sir. I understand the kind of standard Bharatiya Janata Party has.
Let me finish what I want to say.
Into abusing others, abusing the opposition party, you have no faith in the viewers of the Republic. You are a party of dynasts. What is Jai Shah doing in your party?
Specific rebuttals
What is Mr. doing in your party? You are a party of dynasts. Yours is the richest party, sir.
With due respect,
So you should understand, innocent poor Indians are dying because of poverty. Bharatiya Janata Party has increased its wealth multifold. What do you want to say about that, sir?
You are absolutely talking rubbish. You are not talking on facts.
Okay, I am talking rubbish, and what about you?
Absolutely a false narrative.
I am talking on facts. I am giving you hard data.
And I'm saying that.
I
you
am
have
giving
picked
you
up random figures coming out from some book that you may have written yourself.
That's all BJP
Respectfully, no. Now I'll answer you on each one of those things.
Yes.
I know my figures.
What no?
And I've come here prepared. I have not manufactured
What do you mean by no, sir?
80 crore people getting free rations over the last 3 years
you have manufactured.
is what saying
Sir,
reduction of
the
budget
kind of data you people give it, that's
you are
from
the most funny
WhatsApp University. What you people are good at is creating grift on the religion line,
it's a good debate.
grift on caste line.
Faizan, let him counter you. You hear him, then you speak back again. It's a great debate, but we need to hear each other right now. Faizan, yield the floor for a minute to Nalin. Nalin's countering right now. Interesting debate, Faizan. Do listen for a while. Nalin's turn. 1 versus 1. 3 panelists have not spoken.
Thank you.
Yes, Faizan, I shall come back to you. After he finishes, I shall. Let's continue.
What's the argument given, Mr. Goswami? Mr. Goswami, what's the argument given? Food subsidy has gone down. 80 crore people getting free rations since COVID continuously till today is a reduction of food subsidy. It didn't exist before COVID. Who bought it in? Narendra Modi ji bought it in.
Come on. Yeah.
Next, farmers getting money directly into their account.
Really?
Those who make the food
from his
and
own
make
pocket,
sure that we eat the food, is that a reduction of food,
right?
sir? This is about, what do you mean paying from your own pocket? How dare you say something like this? How dare you say something like this? Paying from your own pocket. You can't just come out here and have a rant one way without you doing your homework. Number 3, you then say, look at the nature of what
Come on, I've done my homework.
Here
if
is
you
a
have
prime
patience,
minister.
I'll tell you, I'll give you
the
all the
country
data,
was great.
Mr.
If
Kohli,
the country was great, Garibi Hatao had to happen in 1970. What was Indira Gandhi ji, Rajiv Gandhi ji, Narasimha Rao ji, and after that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh doing?
Don't go to Indira Gandhi today of today's
The
time,
world
sir.
is talking about the fall of poverty in India. You can't see that. Neither you see what the World Bank says. Neither you see what the IMF says.
For more years.
No, why shouldn't I go? You said the country was doing well. Okay, tell me why were banks nationalized? Why were banks nationalized? Taki garibo ke bank account out. The nationalization of the banks
you tell me,
took
sir,
place in
what about the
1970.
CAG
How
reports,
is it that under Narendra Modi ji only the banks could be open for the poor? Who stopped any prime minister from doing that?
So what about CAG
So
reports?
everything was good for you because you set the standard very low. अरे किसी गांव में ना बिजली नहीं है एक बल्ब जल जाए तो आप लोग कहते हैं बहुत बढ़िया हो गई नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने 17,000 गांव में बिजली नहीं थी 70 साल के लिए
I want my government to tell me. I want
now you go to malnutrition. The only malnutrition on this show is your
figures. You directly speak to the people of India.
The only malnutrition on this show is your figures.
What about the corruption charges against Narendra Modi's government?
As that.
CAG has
the only malnutrition is the intellect that you have brought to this show. Now you've gone to CAG.
Really?
I'm going to dance on this malnutrition
okay,
thing of yours.
Nalin and Faizan, I don't want to be completely unfair on the other panelists who have not spoken. And there are 3 panelists who have not even had their first round. So I'm going to go to them. Faizan, with your permission, I'd like to go to Aarti Subrashta, Pankaj and Revolushridhar Reddy. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. This is a foreign policy debate, and my point here is on foreign policy. As we understand, on foreign policy, the interventions Modi is making are incredible. We are the first people who responded to the situation in Sri Lanka. Look at how our relationship with Sri Lanka has improved. We are leaders on the global climate crisis, right? We are the first people to respond to Turkey during its humanitarian crisis. And today Erdogan says he will be very proud if India is made a member of the UN Security Council. I mean, are we to not acknowledge these things, Aarti? Subrashta?
Absolutely.
Are we to say all these things are to be taken for granted? Subrashta first or Aarti first? Aarti.
Arnab, thank you. I've been listening to all the commentators very keenly, and it's quite unfortunate that nowadays people recognize the magnitude of the event and the things that have unfolded in the last couple of days. First of all, I mean, they all should be proud that India is perhaps the only country which has fulfilled the mission of bringing African Union into the G20. It is such a huge event because Africans, Black lives, people who've been exploited by the 2 biggest superpowers in the world, they finally find a place in history and in the biggest and the most important and most powerful forum or grouping, that is G20. This was unthinkable.
So these people, I don't know which world they live in, but they do not realize the gravity of the justice and the great leadership that Prime Minister Modi has shown in bringing in African Union. That's point number one. Second, India under Prime Minister Modi took a very conscious decision about Ukraine, and despite the enormous pressure that Prime Minister Modi faced from the West, from the NATO countries, India did not budge its line on Ukraine. In fact, India has maintained its strategic independence over the war and in fact maintained a fine balance between the West and Russia. And look, we have finally proven to be right and correct in our assessment, in our understanding, and also in our judgment on the war. Finally, the NATO countries, the West, they recognize the fact that the war has actually harmed a lot of poor people in the world, especially African black people who were dependent on the exports from Ukraine and Russia for food. Food inflation was a major humanitarian crisis in the world during the war. And India, in the end, was able to persuade the biggest powers in the world to look at this whole issue from that humanitarian perspective. What more would you expect from this?
Nothing more.
Yeah.
Nothing more. I'm only saying all of this.
Unthinkable before 2014. Everything was unthinkable before 2014.
It's
fine that we organize a rotational G20. It is fine that we organize a rotational G20 event, but how can you say that Modi ji has been accepted as the global leader? Accepted by whom? By America, by China, by Russia. I would be the happiest person if he is accepted as the global leader. He is the Swayambhu global leader. He is Swayambhu Vishnu
Just
Guru.
1 minute. Pankaj.
I'm really sitting behind the nameplate of Bharat. You don't emerge
has stood its ground for the first time, standing up against the West, standing up against the Chinese. This is called world leadership. This is called arriving at the global stage.
1 minute. Let's Revolution Reddy. Mr. Reddy and Subrashta, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'll tell you one thing. Even Sergei Lavrov was surprised because Modi managed to get the Western nations to agree not to mention Russia at all while documenting their outlook of the war. That is a very big step towards bringing the world together. I, as an Indian, Subrashta and Revolution Reddy, feel so proud that my country's leader has played such a significant role in bringing the world together and possibly out of a period of violence that has been unforeseen and unprecedented. It's only, you got to be very narrow-minded, Mr. Reddy, not to see this. Don't you feel proud? You ask anyone.
They're just jealous.
The whole world is... Mr. Reddy, this will have an impact on 2024.
We don't have to...
Because we want such a leader.
They're just jealous.
India deserves such a leader, Mr. Reddy.
Let me speak. Arnab, we don't have to see everything in the political lines, and we don't have to criticize everything that the union government does. And we appreciate and congratulate the union government for conducting it successfully. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, we wish it's not the event hosted by BJP. It is the central government which has done. It is our Prime Minister. We will definitely take pride in whatever we have achieved. Number 3, and we wish and want the BJP should, display a kind of maturity and dignified approach for not taking this for a political or personal gains. Number 4, yes, when we have mentioned so many things that
what political
summit has taken, only the Prime Minister, time and again speaking about the credit of the Prime Minister, speaking in political lines and 2024 elections. If you are linking this to 2024 elections, and this will create goes to Prime Minister that will translate into votes, then you are undermining the importance of the particular summit and you are diluting it. Number 4, as the summit was a great success, the country wants to know, eagerly waiting for the Prime Minister to come before the country and explain what the success means to this country. Number 4, yes, this global leader Vishwaguru. Even before this summit, many a times BJP tried to showcase the Prime Minister in the same fashion. Let the people of this country decide. Even before Karnataka elections, even before Himachal Pradesh elections, many times these things were said and people have heard, they gave their mandate. Finally, what matters to the country is when all these efforts, translates into the betterment of this country, improvement of lives of the country, or people of this country, locally and globally. Finally, we just wanted to say one thing as BRS party before going to the summit. Honorable Prime Minister and Union government saying we are going to talk about women empowerment in the particular issue, gender equality and all that. Now that the special session of the Parliament is coming up, we wish and we hope the central government will take this particular matter for discussion even in the special session and will not use the special session as a publicity stunt.
No, I'm sure. But why so grudging, Subrashta?
What I wanted to say.
Why so grudging? Why? I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you, sir. If an opposition leader were to come and say, I'm so proud of what India has achieved in foreign policy under Prime Minister Modi, I'm telling you, you would do better. This whole question, we don't understand, no big deal has happened, is actually going to work against you. Why so grudging, Subrashta?
Absolutely. Arnab, I would want to respond. I think Aarti has very eloquently mentioned the role of India's diplomacy in this particular regard. She's also elucidated how it's really important for as Indians to acknowledge the path-breaking historic initiative that Narendra Modi took and took India to a completely different level when it comes to foreign policy and diplomacy. I want to respond to certain ludicrous charges that were raised by the opposition. One being, why do you hide the poor of your country? Well, you don't hide the poor of the country. First of all, if I were to talk about Delhi and the the green curtains that have been put in certain corners, let me tell you, most of these slum areas have I don't know, refugees from which part of the world. There are allegations that there are Rohingyas and Bangladeshis settled there. And I'm really sorry to say, if you have, can I please respond without being interrupted? I waited for 9:46 to have my say. Please. Allah, have the basic decency to debate.
That's true.
Why have they allowed to settle is a historical question, madam. I don't want to get into the immigration policy. Don't want to discuss the refugee and immigration policy at the moment. My question to you is very precise. If you know that you have guests coming into your home, do you open the stinkiest of washrooms in front of them? Is a simple question that I'm asking. If you don't, then please don't tell me where did the stink come from. Of course we have problems in this country. Of course we have poverty in this country. Of course we have issues of women empowerment. But do these agendas need to be discussed exactly at the time when G20 leaders were here? Is it not the role of the opposition also to sort of take up these issues in states that they are in? In Rajasthan, don't you know the kind of settlements that are happening? Please tell me how many Rohingya settlements in Rajasthan have been sent back? If Narendra Modi is failing on all counts, show me a model state. Please tell me that this is a Chhattisgarh. Today I have had the privilege of a conversation of somebody in Chhattisgarh. Don't you know the kind of settlements that are happening in Chhattisgarh? Tomorrow, if Chhattisgarh were to hold a G20 or whatever international summit, would you expect Bhupesh Baghel to take these people to all these corners? Would you expect Bhupesh Baghel to make them sit with Naxalites and have a conversation?
I think we must.
Why are you talking, man? I mean, hasn't India? No, Arnab, we have hosted CWG as well, and we know the kind of scams that happened. This is for the first time that India has seen a delegation of this scale, and there has been zero corruption. Till now, there has been no charges that the opposition has been able to even frame properly. The only charges that Rahul Gandhi has been able to frame at that university in Paris.
My goodness.
Sir, आप तो आपको शर्म आती है बात करने में, आपको तो शर्म आनी चाहिए. आपने टॉयलेट पेपर पे घोटाला करके बैठा हुआ है. आपकी सरकार ने टॉयलेट पेपर तक पे घोटाला करके बैठा हुआ है.
CWG में 40,000 करोड़ स्पेंड किए थे और किसके पॉकेट में पैसा गया था सबको पता है. नलिन कोहली को पूछ लीजिए. This is 1/10 of what you spent on CWG.
अरे छोड़िए.
1/10.
हम तो
Who made the money?
अरे भाई साहब हमारे को तो सब
Who made the money?
ब्लेम आप करते रहेंगे.
Who made the money?
आपको आपकी
Who made the money?
आप हमें गाली नहीं देंगे तो किसको दे? अरे भाई साहब
Who made the money?
हम तो बनाते ही नहीं.
Who made the money?
गब्बर सिंह टैक्स आप लगा रहे हैं.
मैं आपके बारे में नहीं बोल रहा, आप ही तो सरकार में थे.
मणिपुर आप नहीं जा रहे हैं.
Shubh is responding right now. Shubh is countering. Shubh wanted to counter.
No, I am so sad with this
I have something to say on
answer that my
Manipur.
counterpart
I have
from
something to say on
BJP has
Manipur. Do
compared
give me
the
a
poor
moment
of
whenever
India
it's
to
possible.
stinking washrooms. It is so shameful that she has compared the poor of India to stinking washrooms. Let me just add one more two statistics.
I cannot account
Over
for your poor
4,100
comprehension
crores were
skills.
spent. Now let me speak.
I'm not from the BJP.
Now let me
firstly.
speak. I
Secondly,
waited
madam,
patiently
I
for you to
cannot account
complete.
for
Now
your
let
poor
me speak.
comprehension skills. I'm
Do
really
not
sorry.
get
Shubh.
into a quandary.
If you
Do
cannot
not be
understand
nervous
the basic
staring
argument
at
that
your
is being
defeat.
made,
Let
I am
others
really
speak.
sorry. I don't have
Over
anything to debate with you, ma'am.
4,100 crores was spent
No,
on G20.
you are trying
but
to
the
draw a
center
parallel.
owns
You are trying to draw a
6,400 crores
parallel
in
where
Manrega.
none exists.
Is there
I
any
asked
data
a
to
simple
show
question.
how the G20
I
is
asked
going
a
to
simple
take
question.
care
Why
of
are you
this
so
gap in
rattled with that
Manrega?
question, madam?
That is leading
Please
to
tell me.
poverty.
Tomorrow, I asked why are you getting so rattled? You label me wrongly. You say that I am from the BJP first of all. Factually, you identify me wrong.
Can I first of all,
in wages to 18
Arnab, may I
states.
respond to
It
this
is so
lady?
shameful that you compare
May I
the
respond
poor
to
of
this
this
one minute,
country.
Subrashta.
Washroom,
May I
this
respond
shows
to
your
this
dirty
lady?
mentality.
Subrashta, one minute.
How
Just
dare you?
one point.
These are the
Shubh,
people who-
Shubh,
These are
Shubh Malhotra.
people who actually
This is
get
Malhotra.
those backs
Shubh
from
Malhotra.
different
Shubh
scale.
Malhotra.
You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I wish to come in for a moment to your comment that it was an inappropriate comparison made by Subrashta. She has clarified. I also don't agree with the praise or the comparison made, but she's clarified that was not how she meant, though I also don't agree with the exact comparison. The use of the word stinking washroom, etc., is not something that I
Very poor,
agree with
very
at all.
poor reflection.
Point being, however, Shubh, you are a very educated and prolific spokesperson. I'm sure you agree on a larger point. We are not discussing about G20, Nalin, that we have a mega economic corridor, India, Middle East and Europe, at the end of this weekend. This counters China's expansionist model on infrastructure. This will have a great benefit to the country economically. It will transform India over the next few years. Can we be mature about things like this? Nalin, would you add to that? Why are we not looking at the big picture? That's the problem I have now. These are big things for the country. We don't need to run them down. Nalin.
It's huge. In fact, it's lost in terms of so much has happened over the last few days. The Delhi declaration, the fact that there have been 15 bilateral meetings between Prime Minister Modi and the leaders. We've actually lost track of and sight of this extremely important news. And thank you for bringing it up. Because this is not just to be seen in terms of a counter to anyone's model, as some people are putting it out there like the Belt Road and all that. The other part is that this is an economic corridor which is recognizing not just India's potential, but the need for India to be a partner in the entire process. And when you're looking at something from India right up to Europe with this kind of participation, it confirms that this is a resounding yes, a vote of confidence in not just the leadership and the ability of the country to deliver, but also in the fact that India is going to be that important cog in the global economy and its resurrection.
I think
post-COVID in that sense.
I think I will only for want of time I'm closing this. I want to say, however, that I am very much delighted over one fact, that the political debates are very heated in the run-up to 2024. So I must thank Faizan, Revala, Shobh and Pankaj and Romesh Sabalpal for countering things. But at the same time, while I thank Subrashta Arti and Ambassador Deepak Vora and Nalin, of course, I think somewhere, forget the impact on 2024. You may not like that. But I think we are in a great position to be a global leader. And that's what makes me very happy. We'll see, Pankaj, whether negative or positive. It's only 9 months left. So I'll thank you very much on that. And ladies and gentlemen, on the other side, you have the big... Yeah, I'll wait. I'll 100% wait, Pankaj. I have nothing else to do. I'll wait. But on the other side, viewers, you had the very controversial arrest of Chandra Babu Naidu. Is this going to help him? I feel Chandrababu is a consummate politician. While of course he's going to fight his way out legally, this might end up actually benefiting him on the other side.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
As the G20 summit under India's presidency turned out to be a huge success, creating history, world leaders are echoing words of appreciation for the concrete developments that took place yesterday. Now here's what the world has had to say about India's G20 success.
G20 Summit 2023 turned out to be a historic one. Leaders and experts from across the world complimented India for handling the G20 summit successfully. Most call G20 Summit 2023 a clear success of India's diplomatic maneuver.
The main content of the declaration this year is all about the awakening of the global south and the consolidation of the global south that is truly willing for the G20 to work for its main goals.
He also said that India successfully prevented the summit from being politicized.
The declaration mentions the things I have just described that reflect the insistent work of the Indian presidency and our other like-minded nations that have prevented the work of the G20 that was established to resolve global economic and financial problems into a political circle.
French President Emmanuel Macron said that the summit was committed to peace in Ukraine.
As for Russia and G20, to be clear, my point was to say the core business of this forum is economy and coordination on global affairs. So economy, finance, climate, and these critical issues, but the core business is not stability and security and peace. So it's good sometimes to have this discussion, but we should not stop everything if we disagree on one of these topics.
Calling the consensus on G20 leaders' declaration a truly meaningful achievement, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that the member countries were able to agree under the leadership of India as this year's chair.
Under the leadership of India as this year's chair, we were able to agree on the G20 leaders' declaration, which is a truly meaningful achievement.
Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said that he was very touched emotionally when he went to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat in Delhi. He noted that Mahatma Gandhi had a great meaning in his political life.
That I personally am very much touched emotionally when I want to pay a homage to our dear Gandhi, that we paid a homage today. Everybody knows that in my political life, Mahatma Gandhi has great meaning because the struggle with non-violence was a role model that I followed for many decades.
100% consensus on Delhi Declaration launch of rail and shipping connectivity linking US, India, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf. The launch of Global Biofuel Alliance, and lastly, a magnificent venue that portrayed India's heritage and culture, and also the grand hospitality for the global leaders. G20 summit under India's presidency has certainly left a mark in the history. Bureau Report.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
भारत के लिए सऊदी अरब हमारे सबसे महत्वपूर्ण स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर में से एक है। आज की हमारी बैठक से हमारे संबंधों को एक नई ऊर्जा, एक नई दिशा मिलेगी।
And here's a report on the Voice of the Global South Summit, which has been India's endeavor to provide a common platform to deliberate on the concerns, interests and priorities that affect developing countries, and also to exchange ideas and solutions. Most importantly, to unite in voice and purpose in addressing the concerns, shared concerns and priorities.
India took the lead in inclusion of African Union as a permanent member of G20.
मैं अफ्रीकन यूनियन के अध्यक्ष को G20 के स्थायी सदस्य के रूप में अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं।
India at the helm of G20 has continued to make efforts to bring the global North and South, which often do not agree on key policy areas, to the table. India, being the G20 host this year, fulfilled the proclaimed desire of making India the voice of Global South. The African Union, as a permanent member of G20, was welcomed with the spirit of Sabka Saath.
J'ai ressenti cette lutte que j'ai pas pleuré.
So I was about to cry. It was a great emotion for me because actually we thought that there was going to be a debate and then a decision will be taken. But at the very beginning of the summit, they just announced that we are a member and it was a great
Over the past few years, India has effectively established itself as a prominent advocate, highlighting the issues, difficulties and aspirations of the Global South, particularly the African continent. Prime Minister Modi has been at the forefront of these efforts, especially in advocating for the African Union's inclusion as a member of G20.
We are thankful to Prime Minister Modi as well as the overall leadership that India has displayed in ensuring that this summit gives more expression to the Global South, that this summit is geared towards ensuring.
The inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member of the G20 underlines India's efforts to build an inclusive and balanced bloc, which echoes aspirations of the Global South and reflects a more accurate portrait of global economic and geopolitical realities. India has truly emerged as a voice of the Global South. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
With that is a wrap on this edition of World This Morning. Coming up in the Morning Express as G20 concludes, Saudi Crown Prince to begin state visit in India. Key bilateral meeting today.
Nobody can ever trouble an honest journalist. Nobody can ever trouble an honest media house. We are destined for success. Every moment from now on, I want everyone in the Digvijay newsroom to always remember that you must be wedded to the cause of news. Thank you very much, Anand, for having us here and for letting us take the journey forward.
₹241 crore scam charge on Chandra Babu Naidu. massive showdown in Andhra Pradesh over Chandra Babu Naidu's arrest. Naidu jailed for alleged corruption. Arnab debates at 10 p.m.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 10, powered by Reva University, Quick Heal, Secure Right, Green Lamb Laminates, PolicyBazaar.com and Cucina, co-powered by Mankind Pharma.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chandrababu Naidu is under arrest. There are protests across all of Andhra Pradesh. Chandrababu Naidu's son, Nara Lokesh, who has been on a Padyatra, claims that his father is being framed in a case of extreme political vendetta. The BJP at a state level has condemned the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu. But what is this case against Chandrababu Naidu that has resulted in him being in jail and the protests spilling on in a big way into the streets? Ladies and gentlemen, the allegation is that Chandrababu Naidu was the quote-unquote architect of a 371 crore scam when he was Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. The allegation is that with just a PowerPoint presentation, two private companies landed up with an MOU with the Naidu government. The allegation is that no tenders were floated, no market survey was done, and no cabinet consent was taken before the constitution of the Andhra Pradesh State Skill Development Corporation that Chandrababu Naidu allegedly personally constituted, and to quote the remand copy put by his henchmen into. The allegation is also that Chandrababu Naidu's government had agreed that it would consider it shouldering 10% of the cost load, with 90% being borne by the private players. And yet there was allegedly urgency, interventions to release 371 crores to private players as the government share at a time when the private players hadn't quote-unquote spent a single rupee. While there are more than 44 questions that I have down based on the remand for Chandrababu Naidu and his supporters, I also have equal questions today to Jagan's party, the YSRCP, because some of the claims made in the remand are claims alone. Fundamentally, should there not be a money trail mentioned if there is a scam being alleged? Shouldn't there be corroboration of a claim that Naidu personally destroyed evidence in the case if it is made part of the demand? Shouldn't there be evidence of proof of how Chandrababu Naidu, the TDP and his family personally benefited monetarily through a system of a Hawala operation as is being claimed? If it is made part of the remand, where are the facts behind it? I don't see that. Shouldn't there be a clinical approach by the CID under Jagan to prove the diversion of funds, instead of leaving it to a surmise, to an imagination? And ladies and gentlemen, while we get into the specifics of the charges and the counter charges, vendetta or not, this is a very, very high profile case. Chandrababu Naidu is in jail tonight. And one thing is clear as day: corruption, state or center, is 2024's biggest poll plank? Let's debate.
The arrest of Chandra Babu Naidu has sparked an unprecedented face-off in Andhra Pradesh. The TDP has protested in multiple cities, trying to enforce a statewide bandh. It's the first time a former chief minister has been arrested in the state, and the TDP is adamant that the case itself is fabricated.
I mean, vindictive politics has gone to a new low. This particular case, first FIR was filed in 2021, 2 years. But even till today, they have not been able to file a charge sheet. Then what were you doing for the last 2 years?
Well, the arrest of Chandra Babu Naidu is to do with the private public skill development project which was proposed back then during Chandrababu Naidu's term as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Well, the investment in this particular project finds its way to the shell companies instead of doing it to the project. Well, however, the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu is termed as an illegal arrest by the TDP, and they have been blaming it on the YSRCP.
Naidu's son, Nara Lokesh, has pointed his finger at Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy.
I mean, the Chief Minister is missing. He's holidaying in London. He's not here. And exactly when he leaves, they arrest him. As you know, has spent 16 months in a jail. So he believes that all of his opponents also should spend time in jail.
The ruling YSRCP, however, is clear that the arrest is valid and Naidu is the main accused.
All these days, now I talk politically, all these days he has been managing systems, managing whatever setups, constitutional setups also, and surviving on that. And now he got a big shock. Everybody agrees it. First time he was taken into custody on this serious crime.
And other parties from other states are jumping into the controversy, like Trinamool Congress Supremo and Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, whose nephew Abhishek has been summoned in an ED case simultaneously.
अभिषेक को हर तरह डिस्टर्ब करते हैं, उसको कभी लोअर कोर्ट में जाने पड़ता है, अननेसेसरीली हैरेसिंग. लेकिन हमारा यही विनती होगा हर राजनीतिक दल का, जैसे चंद्रबाबू नायडू को अरेस्ट किया, मैं पसंद नहीं किया. अगर कोई गलती है तो आप बात करो, इंस्पेक्शन करो, इन्वेस्टिगेशन करो, वो तो आपका हाथ में है. लेकिन विंडिक्टिवली किसको साथ कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए.
So with politicians around the country ready to read into the big Naidu arrest saga, the question is this a case of political vendetta or is there a big scam at play? Let's debate.
Now, I'd like to begin by just saying that Chandrababu Naidu is no ordinary leader. He's been convener of the United Front. He's been Chief Minister for a decade and a half. He's seen to be a great reformer, a person who has brought in the process of digital governance. He's been known to be clean, and he's also been seen to be a futuristic leader. Of course, the fact that he's not seen to be with the I.N.D.I.A. alliance does not make him popular with the Congress and its other ... allies. However, we have to establish here whether this is a case of vendetta. And there's only one way to do it, by asking questions to both sides on the specifics of the case. So to everybody, I would tell them today, if you are not prepared to discuss the specifics of the case, you can't participate on the debate. If you are, it's great. I want to begin with the TDP, and then I'll open it up to the YSRCP. I have Patabi Ram Reddy of the DTP. I have Silpa Ravichandra Kishore Reddy, MLA of the YSRCP. I have Shyam Meka of the Congress. I have Vinusha Reddy, spokesperson of the BJP in Andhra Pradesh. Rachna Reddy, senior advocate from Hyderabad. Vivek Srivastav, and Lokesh Jindal of the Congress. Now, actually, let me start with the YSRCP. Mr. Silpa Ravichandra Kishore Reddy, my first question is to you.
Yes, sir.
Simple question.
Yeah.
You have arrested Chandrababu Naidu. And that's a very big deal. He's in jail tonight. I am sure you have thought of the consequences, because what happens in situations like this, it could. Can you hear me, Mr. Reddy?
Hello.
Can you hear me, Mr. Reddy?
Arnab, I'm not able to hear you. Your voice is breaking. I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, I'll try and be louder.
Yeah.
I'll try and be louder. I want to run the pictures of Chandrababu Naidu going in and out of court appearances, being taken to jail, and the first feeling I get is that this could be a magical moment for Chandrababu Naidu. He's going to make the most of it. He's looking like a victim. He's playing the role of a martyr, right? And it's not exactly like Jagan is seen to be very clean. So by arresting Chandrababu Naidu, you could end up helping him.
Arnab, here in Andhra Pradesh, most of the people do not believe Chandrababu because he's known for his histrionics. So generally, he tries to play to the galleries most of the time whenever he is confronted. So that is how he's been doing it over the years. You can take the case of 2003, right before the election when there was a bomb blast. He tried to dissolve the government and try to reap in the benefits. But then he didn't succeed. And probably that is how he has been playing his game. And in 2014, that is what people believe. And today also, I'm sure he's going to try to milk it out and say that, it is a political vendetta and I'm not a part of this scam. But if you see for the last couple of days, I don't know why and for what reason the Telugudesam party is only talking about the case. They're not able to talk about has the scam taken place or not. Has there been 371 crores gone missing or not? Instead, they've been only pinpointing, saying, the governor's permission was not taken, or something like he wasn't produced in 24 hours. So these are the things they are coming up with. While the most important thing is here, 371 crores of public money has gone missing. And how? And why? These are the things that need to be questioned. Mr. Babu, when he came into power in 2014 and 2019, this scam took place. And 90% of the money which was supposed to come from Siemens never came in. But the 10% that was supposed to be invested by the government of Andhra Pradesh was completely given. No one knows why the entire amount was given. No one knows who ordered that entire thing. Because as on today, after the CID went into the details, they have come to the conclusion that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu overruled everything and he has ordered the release of 371 crores. So this is the main problem there. So while Siemens, which is supposed to be a partner in this, had categorically denied that they were ever part of it. The German company, they said they didn't have anything to do with what the
Mr. Reddy, I understand your point.
So, yeah.
Mr. Reddy, I just want to ask you one counter before I open up the debate. Mr. Reddy, you are saying that the government invested 371 crores, but Siemens did not put in the rest of the 90%. I understand all that. But tell me, you don't seem to have any proof of a money trail. You have not been able to show so far in the remand copy that Chandrababu Naidu himself has got 1 rupee from Siemens. Are you accusing Siemens of bribing Chandrababu Naidu? Since they are the private party involved.
No, see.
And if that is what the charge that you are making, if that is the charge that you are making, no, allow me, sir.
Yeah.
If that is the charge that you are making, then you will appreciate, Mr. Reddy, that you will have to double that up with some evidence that Chandrababu Naidu has got paid off by Siemens or any private party. Is that the charge you're making? Do you have proof of a money trail?
Yeah, that is what the CID is looking into. So that is what the CID wants to get to the picture.
No, looking into is a very general
you see
thing.
300. Yeah, that is the only reason why the inquiry is happening, right? We haven't inquired Chandrababu Naidu as yet. He needs to sit in front of the CID and he hasn't been cooperating with the officers. That is what the court was also told. Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, I don't know why, for what reason he's not cooperating. Because it has happened in his tenure, it has happened under his name, and it was ordered by him. It was, generally anything that has to pass through the cabinet is supposed to be on the agenda. It wasn't on the agenda that day. It came in the last minute and was approved at the last minute, only on the reference of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. And immediately, I don't know, everyone has to understand when there's 90% of money, the 3,000 crores coming up from a private company, why wasn't a single rupee taken from them? Why was 300 crores?
You mean to say?
Arnab, can I come in?
1 second, you're getting a counter. So you mean to say, Mr. Reddy, that this is the kind of decision that Arvind Kejriwal took in the liquor scam, in which certain members of the YSRCP are also alleged to be involved? There also the decision was taken very quickly.
Yeah, so what was the hurry? See, when you're saying, it is not a small amount. It is
so what was the hurry in the liquor scam in which Kavita's name is involved?
I got nothing to do with that.
What is the hurry in the liquor scam in which Kavita's name is there?
Arnab.
No, why? But
YSRCP MP Magunta Srinivas Reddy.
Okay, we're getting a counter. We're getting a counter from Pattabhiram Komareddy of the TDP.
Yeah, Arnab.
Yes, Mr. Komareddy.
Just now on Republic, the representative from YSR Congress Party had agreed that they don't have any proof, any evidence, and the CID is still investigating. You asked a very straight question. Do you have any evidence on the money trail? He put a blank
face. It is still investigating. That is what we're trying to say.
Then how can you arrest Chandrababu when you don't have any evidence with you and you are still investigating?
We want judicial custody and that
Chandrababu. Listen to me first. I have listened to you patiently. When you are saying that you are when you are saying that you are still investigating, when you are saying that you don't have any evidence on Shri Chandrababu, how can you arrest him? So this itself, Arnab, the case is closed. They don't have anything with them. And the other thing is, Arnab, Magunta Srinivas Reddy, the member of parliament from Ongole, from YSRCP, he had turned an approver in the Delhi liquor scam. He had confessed in the court that he had committed a crime in the Delhi liquor scam. It is not, these are not allegations. They have turned approvers. So what moral right they have to talk on corruption? Your MP himself had turned an approver, and another approver, Sharat Chandra Reddy, close confidant of Jagan Reddy, he also had turned an approver. Turning an approver means accepting that they have committed a crime, accepting that they have looted money. What action have you taken on your MP? You are teaching us lessons on corruption. And the other thing is, Arnab, he's repeatedly talking about 90% contribution of Siemens. See, to the knowledge of the entire nation, I would like to present the facts very clearly, as he has zero knowledge on it. See, Siemens, the 90% contribution comes in the form of the software which they are supplying. The software which is being supplied by Siemens. Yes, you can see 42 skill development centers are there on the ground and they are functioning.
On the day of the payment was made?
With Siemens software, you listen to me first. You have zero knowledge.
On the day of the payment,
you have zero knowledge. Listen to me first. There is a skill development center.
Was the payment released?
There is a skill development center even in Idipalapaya. There is a skill development center even in Idipalapaya where Jagan Reddy has a huge palace. So,
when was that set up?
42 skill development centers are established with Siemens software. They are functioning. Lakhs of people have got trained. Thousands of jobs have been created. So everything is visible on the ground.
No, I totally understand. When was the skill development center set up?
There is absolutely no corruption. Arnab, I don't want crosstalk. See, people should
Mr. Komareddy, 1 minute. Mr. Komareddy, 1 minute. 1 minute. As you know, I have a specialty on these issues. I have been doing them for many, many years. You know, even Suresh Kalmadi said he is benefiting the people of the country. Even A. Raja said, I'm benefiting the people of the country. You know, when the Devas ISRO scam happened, Manmohan Singh, I said, I'm benefiting the people of the country. I'm helping the people of the country. When Kargil for profit scam happened, I remember Ashok Chavan called me, and even he was arguing that he's benefiting the people of the country, not himself. And then he had to resign. My question to you, Mr. Komareddy, is this, and please pay close attention to my question. Now, as per the cabinet decision, 90% of the cost estimates was to be borne by the private companies. In this case, Siemens and Design Tech, which was not done. Instead, the Chandrababu Naidu government rolled out a whopping 371 crores as advance payment, through which this entire so-called private project was funded without a rupee. I quote from the remand, without a rupee being furnished by the private companies. Okay? Now, the TDP says that 90% of the cost was compensated with software is worth 90%. Now, let the seriousness of the remand copy not just be because there are unanswered questions. My question to you, Mr. Komareddy, as per the remand, the entire narrative is that two private conglomerates met Chandrababu Naidu through a private party leader. They made a PowerPoint pitch which triggered the creation of an Andhra Pradesh State Skill Development Corporation and a new department in the government. These players then set up, the allegation is, centers based on money doled out to the tune of 371 crores by the Naidu government, all released in advance. Or I can also give software and say, why 3,000 crores? My software is worth 30,000 crores. Siemens is setting its own price. I am asking you, was there an official tender process? I am asking you, sir, you are talking about, Chandrababu Naidu talks about digital governance. If you had this noble intention of setting up skill centers for the youth, did you call for tenders?
Arnab, I'm glad you asked me this question because...
did you call for tenders?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me this question, Arnab. I'm answering, kindly listen to me. See, the first thing which you've asked me is 90% the contribution from Siemens, as I've told you, it came in the form of the software which is valued at such amount. This valuation was supported this valuation was done by Central Institute of Tool Design, a Government of India organization. It is not valued by Chandrababu Naidu garu or some person from Siemens. I have the valuation report of Central Institute of Tool Design, which was given on 22/3/2016. So Central Institute of Tool Design had valued this project, has valued the software that is supplied by Siemens. So it is with proper valuation that we have gone forward. And the second thing is, there are 9 state governments which went ahead with the same kind of an agreement, including Gujarat, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, and in total 9 states have done the same kind of an MOU with Siemens and Design Tech for setting up of these skill development centers. And the third point is, all the software and the equipment that has to be supplied.
No, so Siemens and you're saying, no, 1 minute, I'm getting very worried. You're saying Siemens and Design Tech, according to you, are getting their entire operations funded from taxpayer money. They are big companies, sir. They can afford to invest themselves.
See, what
it's like getting 90% sweat equity. It's like getting 90% sweat equity for what? For giving their name.
Let me answer. So this is not a business. Siemens is not investing for business. See, in 9 other states in the country, including Gujarat, Siemens had gone into MOUs of the same kind. They have given their software, which is very valuable. And on this software, people get trained. Then later they get jobs. So Gujarat...
Sir, Siemens is not an NGO. Siemens is a private company for profit.
I'll tell you.
Siemens will not spend 1 rupee without profit.
Arnab, I'll tell you why they are doing it. Because Siemens wants manpower to get trained on their software. Lot of automobile companies, huge big MNCs use Siemens software. So they want manpower.
Why was the head office not informed of it?
Where will they get trained? They will get trained
at these skill development centers.
They will get trained at these skill development centers. That is the benefit Siemens is getting out of this. That is why they are giving their software. Because MNCs across the globe, work on
And how
Siemens
come the
software.
head office didn't
So
know this?
that is the fact. That is the fact. That is why they are giving their software. 9 other states have taken this, and we have also taken
Okay,
it.
we
42
see-
centers. 42 centers are running on
We
the
see
ground in
Vinusha-
Andhra Pradesh. No, let me finish. Let me finish, Arnab.
We see
Till now-
Vinusha
till now-
Arnab,
want to
can I
come in.
speak?
Vinusha, before you get into the specifics, I'm confused about the BJP as well. Which side are you on? You are friendly with YSR. You need his support in parliament. It's helping you, especially on the eve of the special session where you might bring in some major legislation. You need every member of parliament support, and YSR is therefore more important to you than Chandrababu Naidu. Though Chandrababu Naidu has also been working tactically with the BJP, so I want a clarity on which side you are on.
Yeah, no. First of all, I have listened to your opening remarks, and you told corruption is the main issue for the 2024 elections. But taking on this occasion of G20, I want to remind that it was the main issue in 2014. When we compare how the Commonwealth Games were conducted in 2010, with the roofs collapsing and the just constructed bridge coming down, water leakings from swimming pools, and athletes telling that we will go back to our country. And they just spent rupees 70,000 crores on what? Commonwealth Games camp. And now our government, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, has meticulously done this G20 event in such a way that it is receiving praises from all over the world. That's what is BJP for us. And our Prime Minister made very clear from Redford that corruption and nepotism are the main factors which are the hindrances in the development of country. And we stick on to the issue, sir. Now I want to clarify one thing, Arnab ji, because you told we are confused. We are not confused. The relationship between the Andhra Pradesh government and central government at the central is always in a federal structure. The relationship exists. And that is the relationship which is continuing between the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and Prime Minister of India. If they support us on issues, some issues, maybe like Article 370 or CAA or GST previously, other states also have supported. How can you relate that to be a friendship between two parties? This has to be maintained in a federal structure, and please don't bring that into this issue. And there are two things, Arnabji, and I want to ask both these people. There can be only one fact. The first one being...
But what is the status of the corruption cases that are filed by the ED? What is the status of the corruption cases filed by the ED against Jagan?
Yeah, I'm coming back to that, Arnabji, because I was coming into that.
If the government if the BJP government is very strong on that, we would like to know that aspect as well. What happened to the ED investigation, the central government investigation against Jagan?
Past 4 years is not even appearing in court or not. Past 4 years is not even appearing in the court.
So you've been stopping
Please allow me to come. Please allow me to come in between. I can't speak in between. See, the thing very common to both these parties is now...
No, you spoke about corruption as an issue. Do you think the alleged corruption of Jagan is also an issue or not an issue?
I stick on to my words that corruption is issue for Bharatiya Janata Party, irrespective of any party or any parliamentarian, and I go by my words. We are not backing Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu or TDP Garu if they are corrupt, and TDP Chandrababu Naidu Garu. And ED is doing its job, and ED is an independent body, and the allegations levied on Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu date back to the time 2012 when Congress is in the power. This is what YSRCP people try to tell. Our Chief Minister is clean as a pearl, and it is the false allegations which have been levied by the then Congress government.
Nothing
and the
has been
same
proved
tone TDP is playing. No, please let me speak. And the TDP is playing the same tone, Arnabji. Now the allegations against Chandrababu Naidu are all false, and the Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu is trying to put the false allegations. So which of these is true? Either one of the allegations is true. Either Chandrababu Naidu
I'll go back to the case here.
I'll
go back to the case here. I'll go back to the case here. I'll go back to the case here. I still haven't got an answer, Lokesh, Vivek, Shyam Meka, on whether there is any hard evidence that Chandrababu Naidu took money. See, if you've arrested someone, and Rachna Reddy is a senior advocate, she'll agree with me.
Yes.
You can't say, I'll arrest you, I will put you under custodial interrogation. I don't have any facts to prove that you took money, but I'll put you in jail. And if you say you have not taken money, I will go and tell the court that you are not cooperating and you want extension of judicial custody.
Arnab, for Rachna's information.
No court will accept that.
Arnab, for Rachna's information, I'll just read out one line.
They won't have dared to arrest. They didn't have facts.
Rachna, I'll just read out one line for your information so that you can react.
Let's speak one by one. Let's
speak. Yeah, Rachna, I'll just read out one sentence.
Please read out, sir.
Yeah, in the remand report of Chandra Babu Naidu garu, the CID has written that the end use of the monies which were apparently being drawn out as cash are required to be ascertained. They have not yet ascertained anything. That's what they have written in page number 21, paragraph number 10.
So my question then is... No. Yeah, I take that. No. If you... No, 1 minute. If you've not ascertained something, but you say he's the architect of the conspiracy.
Yeah, that's
and that he benefited personally.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
You have to show that he benefited personally. Rachna Reddy, Lokesh Jindal, Vivek Srivastava. This is a very interesting case, ladies and gentlemen. Chandrababu Naidu is in jail tonight in what appears to be controversial circumstances. Rachna.
Yes. No, but the BJP...
Rachna and then Lokesh.
Arnab. Here, Arnab, the remand report itself, if you look at the remand report itself, the FIR, the original FIR in the crime, where all about 26 accused were arrested or were arraigned as accused, was filed way back in 2021. But Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was included in the remand as an accused number 37 in 2023, recently, a few months back, I believe in April or March. Here, if you look at the remand report also...
It's only a few days back, not even months. A day before the arrest, they have included.
So just the difference between the original date of the FIR and the remand of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu itself, the fact remains that, see, the facts of the matter, the trail of the money, whether there is a trail of the money, because what they claim is certain shell companies are the ones through which the Hawala transactions have been routed. But which Hawala transaction and which shell company and how much has been routed has not been stated. And if that routing has been done directly under the aegis of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, or it was done as a delegation through Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, or...
There is a Hawala trail. Okay. How much amount, who got, that is yet to be proven. But there is a lot of evidence before they could touch somebody of the level of Chandrababu Naidu. The BJP is trying to play hand in glove with both YSR Congress and TDP. Okay? And the BJP is not even clear about what is the stand. The spokesperson of the BJP over here was not even able to explain the stand of the BJP very clearly. It was a very general stand. Yeah. Okay.
Lokesh.
And this arrest.
Arnab, I would like to bring certain facts. Arnab, I would like to bring certain facts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Arnab, there are three important facts that we need to consider. First of all, the manner in which 371 crore was disbursed. It was against the Andhra Pradesh Financial Code. And it was in 2017-18 that for the first time the central agencies, especially the Director General of the GST and the Income Tax Department, they came out with findings that there were fake invoices that were submitted, there were flouting that was done, and especially with respect to an amount of 240 crore, which was given in return for project management to Skillers Enterprise. That was the prima facie finding that was uncovered by the central agency. 2017-18. Subsequently, the FIR was filed in 2021, and then in 2023, as the lady said, she's right. It was in 2023 that we have inclusion of name of the Chandrababu Naidu in the entire case. So we see that, first of all, the manner in which the disbursement to 370 crore was done. Subsequently, the manner in which 240 crore, which was given to a newly established company called Skiller Enterprise in return for project management, and thirdly, the fake invoices and claims that were made and cash was withdrawn and Hawala transaction that was done.
Lokesh, you are only reading off the demand copy.
Charge was made. Yes.
Lokesh, one minute. Mr. Komareddy, 1 minute. Mr. Komareddy, I have only done this kind of stuff for at least a decade and a half. So I come to the moot point. My question is this. My question is this. No, you are ready first. Let me see if Mr. Shilpa Ravichandra Kishore Reddy is ready. Mr. Reddy, on page 18 of the remand copy, which is being read verbatim by Lokesh, it is stated that a quote, the rest of the monies were routed and rerouted through shell companies. Investigation revealed that N. Chandrababu Naidu and the Telugu Desam party were the end beneficiaries of the misappropriated money. I have only one question to you. One question. It's a very big claim. But you say you don't have any proof. How is Chandrababu Naidu or the TDP linked to the shell companies? How is he linked to the routing or rerouting? Where is the money trail to establish the link to label Naidu as the end beneficiary? Is he a shareholder in any of the companies? Is he part of the equity structure of the company? You see, you have made very big conclusions, but this is sounding like a Parambir Singh Sachin Vaze investigation, where you come to a conclusion and then try to find the facts.
Arnab, the first thing
where is the proof?
If you look at the, there are a couple of things that are missing here. One, the first, when the MOU, when the GO was released, it said 90% would be coming from Siemens and 10% would be coming from the government of Andhra Pradesh. While subsequently, when the MOU was done, there was no mention of Siemens at all. It said 100% of the investment would be going from the government of Andhra Pradesh, and Siemens, I don't know where Siemens 90% had gone. So who had given that authority to release all that money? That is what is question number one. When there is no DPR or when there is no bank guarantee that has been taken from Siemens, when there was no contract awarded, when there was some fresher company like Design Tech coming into the picture, why did you give the project in the first place? And why wasn't Siemens International? Why wasn't Siemens International?
Mr. Reddy,
Siemens International
Mr. Reddy,
didn't have any knowledge about this.
Mr. Shilpa,
They thoroughly investigated
Arnab
later
had
and said
asked a
what
direct
Mr.
question.
Suman Bose had
Arnab
done
had asked
without
a
our
direct
knowledge, and we
question.
had nothing to do.
Louder to both.
Answer to that question. Arnab had asked
the third
a
one,
Mr. Shilpa, Mr. Shilpa,
Komaredi was saying,
Mr. Shilpa, Mr. Shilpa Ravichandra sir, Mr. Shilpa, 1 minute, Komaredi, Mr. Shilpa, listen to me. From what I am reading about this, and I am not read enough, I think Siemens got a very sweet deal. I don't know if Siemens can do this kind of business anywhere. It could be certainly, I would say this is not going to do credit to Chandrababu Naidu's reputation. Having said that,
they have done this
where
in
is the
9 states.
aspect of a bribe?
Arnab, they have done this in 9 states, including
where
Gujarat.
They may
is
have
the
done
370 crores?
They have done
Where
this in
is
9
the
states.
370 crores
When you
gone?
question Narendra Modi ji, when Modi ji was the chief
It had gone
minister,
about into
when
70
Modi ji was the chief
companies.
minister in Gujarat,
That is the trail
they
that
have
is
done
with
this. They have done this project. They have done it in Karnataka. They
Just
have
because
done
it is being done in one
They have done it
state
in
doesn't
Tamil
necessarily
Nadu.
give you the permission to
All
do it in
other
Andhra Pradesh.
states, all other states have benefited from this project.
What is the
So
agreement
why
in
not
Tamil
Andhra
Nadu?
Pradesh? Why not Andhra Pradesh?
What is the agreement in Tamil Nadu?
Why not Andhra Pradesh?
Just because
It is the
Siemens
same
is your
agreement.
friend doesn't
You don't have
necessarily
any
mean
information
you
with
can give it to it.
You don't have any information with you. In every state, it is the same agreement.
I think you need to just
In every state,
relax
it
a
is the
little
same
bit.
agreement.
You seem to be having a panic attack. Relax. You don't need to shout
you
for
don't have
everything.
any information. You don't have any information with you. You have zero knowledge.
You don't need to shout on top of your voice.
You have zero knowledge on this project.
You don't need to shout on top of your voice.
We will speak strongly because we are honest. We are sincere.
Probably Mr. Naidu
But
must have
I also
employed
want to
as his
ask you,
lawyer.
Mr. Komaredi.
Probably.
Mr. Komaredi.
Your voice is not stronger.
Mr. Komaredi.
We will speak stronger.
Mr. Komaredi, listen to me. Listen to me. Mr. Komaredi, listen to me. Shyam Meka, here's my question to Mr. Komaredi. Tell me if you like it. My question is this. That how was Siemens and Design Tech chosen for this project? I am not sure. Is it a fact or not that they were brought to Chandrababu Naidu through a TDP leader by the name of Ilendula Ramesh? Who is Ilendula Ramesh? If they were brought in through a TDP leader to the Chief Minister's office, did Chandrababu Naidu float a tender when he decided to go ahead? If a politician was fronting this idea, then Chandrababu Naidu should have been more careful, am I right? You see, according to this remand, there was a period of only 19 days between Siemens and Design Tech presenting to Chandra Babu Naidu and the formation of this Andhra Pradesh Skill Development Corporation. 19 days. You set up a full corporation. And even if it was just 19 days, in these 19 days, did Chandrababu Naidu get approval for the formation of the Andhra Pradesh Skill Development Corporation? The process is not correct. But Mr. Meka, I can't find out the corruption yet. I agree Chandrababu Naidu followed a wrong process. But did he make money is my question. Can you prove he made money?
Arnab, your question is very well designed question, Arnab. Only addition I will ask is, what is the latest statement or stand of Siemens? Are they washing off their hands of this project? Hey, we don't have anything to do with this? Or are they still saying, oh yeah, we are in it? Add that also. And let Mr. Patabi answer them.
They've already watched off.
Securite break.
Arnab ji.
Yeah, Arnab, can I answer?
I'll let Mr. Komareddy answer. After a 30-second Securite, after a 30-second secured break with Securite, I shall come back.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
And here's a report on the Voice of the Global South Summit, which has been India's endeavor to provide a common platform to deliberate on the concerns, interests and priorities that affect developing countries, and also to exchange ideas and solutions. Most importantly,
Mr. Komareddy, please explain to me. The agreement was the private company will bear 90% of the cost. The government will bear 10% of the cost. Okay. Now, why is it before the 90% payment came, the Naidu government ordered the release of 371 crores? I don't understand. You're still defending the process. How can you do that?
No.
There is no tender. There is no fixed cash investment from Siemens. Yes, tell me.
See, Arnab, everyone should understand that when a company comes forward, to support 90% of the entire project cost, and they're giving it as a grant. That should not be, there is no question of any repayment. It is a grant in kind in the form of a software, which they're giving. They have done the same earlier in
Siemens
Gujarat
International.
And in many other states. And after a team visited Gujarat, after a team from Andhra Pradesh with several IAS officers.
The people are beggars or what?
Listen to me.
We people are beggars or what?
Why do you interfere?
What are you talking, Patabi?
We want to know the facts.
With no knowledge of
No,
the
shut up, man. I have been listening to you. We are not beggars.
No knowledge of the
outsides right now upon the debate.
People are not beggars.
Arnab ji.
Where is 370 crores spent?
Please don't
On
be on
what
the debate.
institute?
Patabi.
To understand the
Where
facts.
was the center of
Please don't be on
excellence?
the debate.
Patabi.
Please don't be on the debate. Arnab, you have to give time to me to explain the facts. I've told you that Siemens is making its contribution. Siemens is making its contribution in the form of a software. The Central Institute of Tool Design. Central Institute of Tool Design had given figures. Let me explain. For each cluster, let me explain. You please listen. For each cluster, the project cost is 559 crore and 33 lakhs. Out of which 490 crore is the worth of the software. That is what Central Institute of Tool Design had valuated. So the Central Institute of Tool Design had valuated the project. They have supported the valuation of the software. You go and ask Central Institute of Tool Design.
Shilpa.
You go and ask
Shilpa
Reddy. And the other thing is,
let me come in
and the other thing is, as far as calling of tenders is concerned, when a company is saying that we will give it to you in the form of a grant in kind, we are giving it to you free of cost. Well, where is the scope for a tender when something is coming free of cost to us? Why can't we take it? 9 other states in the country have taken it. Lakhs of people have benefited from this project. Jagan Reddy does not know how to Do good to the
Sir,
people.
370 crores are still being spent by the state government.
They are blaming it on
Tender has to be floated for the 370 crores at least.
Where is the question of a tender?
You have released 370 crores.
The grant in kind. It is coming
You
in the
have
form of
released
grant in
370
kind.
crores, man. You have
Why
released
did
370
Karnataka
crores.
float a tender? Did Karnataka float a tender? Did Gujarat float a tender?
Maybe they will also go
Did Tamil Nadu float a
please let me
tender?
come in here.
Can you say
Maybe
that
I
Modi
should-
has committed a crime? Do you have the guts to say that
Maybe
Modi
someone
has
should
committed a
investigate
crime?
that.
What nonsense you are speaking?
Just because
Are you,
Karnataka has done it doesn't mean
Mr. Reddy, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Reddy.
You didn't have
Yes,
me
Vinusha.
speak yet.
Arnabji, I will just finish 2 minutes. I just want uninterrupted 2 minutes time. I have
Mr.
questions
Meka,
for
1
both
minute.
the parties.
Everybody got 2-3
Yeah,
times.
see, I have a question. Hello?
I haven't spoken yet.
Hello, Arnabji. I have a question for the TDP person and YSRCP person, both who are sitting here. And the allegation, what they're telling, the Siemens themselves made a statement that they are in no way related to the skill development, whatever the process is happening in Andhra Pradesh. This has come from the CEO of Siemens. No, please allow me to finish. Please allow me to finish. Komarati Pratap Garu, please allow me to finish. I have a question for YSRCP also. Please, I have
That is the statement given by Siemens. That is the statement given by Siemens, Mr. Patabi.
And the allegation is that a company person has sidelined and started and has colluded with the other company. And I have a question for the YSRCP person who is sitting here also. What they were doing when in all these 3 years,
done an internal inquiry
and at the end of, and if you read the demand statement, Arnabji, they could not trace. Arnabji,
But
they could
Mr.
not
Meka,
trace where the money has gone. So, but the point what I want to tell here is, both are same.
Okay,
Both are same. Whether it is TDP or YSRCP,
I have to close
both
this.
are competing.
Viewers, I have to
showing
close
that
this.
Both are corrupt. Both are
I will only say, I need to make a point here. Here's my take on this with everyone on the screen. Yes, Mr. Meka. No, Mr. Meka, go on, Mr. Meka. Who's stopping you? You're very eagerly listening to everyone. You're not intervening today.
No, I am listening. I am not intervening. But I didn't get a chance to even make my opening comments. Simple thing is, there is a judicial process which already started. So why are we conducting a kangaroo court here and letting Mr. Patabi do the job of a lawyer in a studio? That's not required, Patabi. Please wait.
I'm an advocate for truth.
Okay.
I'm an advocate for truth.
No, he's the judge. He'll give the judgment.
If you are advocate, don't do your advocacy in the court, man. Don't do it in the studio. Don't do it in the studio. Do it in
Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to come down to this.
Documents.
It is going to come down to this. It is going to come down to this. It was going to come down to this. Can they prove Naidu made money?
Never.
Yes, we can.
If there is no money trail,
Yes, we
you can keep Naidu in jail for a few days. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, we'll track it. I think this is going to have major political consequences. We are following the story extremely closely on the ground in Hyderabad and elsewhere. And viewers, I shall see you at 9 o'clock as political season heats up. You can't miss a single episode of the debate. Till tomorrow, good night and goodbye.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
2017 Republic TV. 2019 Republic Bharat. 2021 Republic Bangla. 2023 Republic Kannada, coming soon on India's largest news network.
In a top story, a call to end global trust deficit, adoption of the New Delhi Declaration, the launch of a rail and shipping connectivity network linking the United States, India, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf, as well as various other Arab states, and the launch of a global biofuel alliance. These were some of the big takeaways from the G20 meet that was held over 2 days over the weekend in Delhi. Take a look.
India's G20 presidency exceeded the expectations of the world in more ways than one. India's G20 presidency has been marked by deftness and diplomacy. This, with the country writing its success in a new syntax. Here are some of the major takeaways from the summit. From the 13th century Konark Temple of Odisha to the ancient Nalanda University in Bihar, the G20 summit venue put a spotlight on the rich architectural heritage of India, with the world praising India's rich culture.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone
भारत
brand.
के लिए सऊदी अरब हमारे सबसे महत्वपूर्ण स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर में से एक है। आज की हमारी बैठक से हमारे संबंधों को एक नई ऊर्जा, एक नई दिशा मिलेगी।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
As the G20 summit under India's presidency turned out to be a huge success, creating history, world leaders are echoing words of appreciation for the concrete developments that took place yesterday. Now, here's what the world has had to say about India's G20 success.
G20 Summit 2023 turned out to be a historic one. Leaders and experts from across the world complimented India for handling the G20 summit successfully. Most call G20 Summit 2023 a clear success of India's diplomatic maneuver.
The main content of the declaration this year is all about the awakening of the global south and the consolidation of the global south that is truly willing for the G20 to work for its main goals.
He also said that India successfully prevented the summit from being politicized.
The declaration mentions the things I have just described that reflect the insistent work of the Indian presidency and our other like-minded nations that have prevented the work of the G20 that was established to resolve global economic and financial problems into a political circle.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
If you look at this particular case, it was filed, first FIR was filed in 2021, 2 years. And after 2 years, they now come and claim that Mr. Naidu is an accused and that, he's the kingpin of this entire scam. Then what were you doing for the last 2 years?
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
And here's a report on the Voice of the Global South Summit, which has been India's endeavor to provide a common platform to deliberate on the concerns, interests and priorities that affect developing countries and also to exchange ideas and solutions. most importantly, to unite in voice and purpose in addressing the concerns, shared concerns and priorities.
India took the lead in inclusion of African Union as a permanent member of G20.
मैं अफ्रीकन यूनियन के अध्यक्ष को G20 के स्थायी सदस्य के रूप में अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं।
India at the helm of G20 has continued to make efforts to bring the global North and South, which often do not agree on key policy areas, to the table. India, being the G20 host this year, fulfilled the proclaimed desire of making India the voice of Global South. The African Union, as a permanent member of G20, was welcomed with the spirit of Sabka Saath.
J'ai ressenti cette lutte que j'ai pas pleuré.
So I was about to cry. It was a great emotion for me because actually we thought that there was going to be a debate and then a decision will be taken. But at the very beginning of the
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for